My name is Kino Vincent M. Panoy. This is my report. Chapter 7 to 9, CDI. Chapter 7, Surveillance and Undercover Assignments. What is surveillance? Surveillance, the designated secret observation of places, person, and vehicles for the purpose of obtaining information concerning the identities, activities of the subject. Types of surveillance. Convert surveillance. When the subject is not aware that he is being observed. Number 2. Overt surveillance. When the subject is aware that he is being tailed. Purpose of surveillance. Number 1. To get information on criminal activities for the future raid. Number 2. To discover the identities of person frequenting the place to establish their criminal activities. Number 3. To obtain evidence of a crime or to prevent the commission thereof by arrest or raid. Number 4. To establish a legal grounds for the application of search warrant. Number 5. To arrest the criminal in a flagrante delicto. Other types of surveillance. Number 1. Fixed surveillance. Watching a house or building. Number 2. Ay, number 1 to siya. And number 2, moving surveillance on foot or by motor vehicles. Kinds of surveillance. Number 1, surveillance of places. Number 2, tailing or shadowing. Number 3, undercover investigation or roping. What is the objectives of surveillance of place? Objective of surveillance of place. Number 1, to detect criminal activities. Number 2, to discover the identities of the person in frequent, to establish and to determine the relationship. Number 3, to discern the habits of a person who lives in a or frequents the place. Number 4, to obtain evidence of the crime or to prevent the commission of a crime. Number 5, to provide a basis for obtaining a search warrant. Number 6, to apprehend person in the commission of an offense. What is the purpose of shadowing? Number 1, to detect evidences of criminal activities. Number 2, to establish the associations of a subject. Number 3, to find a wanted person. Number 4, to protect a witness. Number 5, to discover the associations, amusement, and habits of an employee who has been proposed for position of responsibility. Number 6, to check the loyalty of the employee in an established the where where the death death have occurred. What is objectives of undercover work? Number 1, obtaining evidence. Number 2, obtaining information. Number 3, checking informant. Number 4, fixed surveillance, assess installation of investigative equipment. Number 5, checking loyalty. Number 6, subs so subservive og- ah, subversive organizations detail information concerning subversive group. Number 7, security check. Listen to conversation on security leaks or careless observation. Number 8, preliminary to search or raid determining presence of contrabands. Chapter 8. Reactive and proactive methods of investigation. Types of criminal investigation. Number 1. Reactive investigation are the traditional manner in which police become involved in the investigation of crime. Reactive investigation are often divided into the in, itin, initial investigation and the follow-up investigation. Number 2, proactive investigation or proactive is, 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 ah, is strategies which are often covert in nature, usually involve the police in initiating investigative activities prior to the occurrence of a crime through proactive type investigations. The police place themselves in a position to deal with crime before it happens. Proactive methods of investigation. The officers dress in civilians' clothes to blend into an area and patrol on foot or on unmarked police cars in an attempt to catch a criminal in the act of committing a crime. Letter B, stakeout operation. A stakeout consists of a group of heavily armed officers who hide in an area or a store or building waiting for a impending holdup. An unarmed robber enter the store and attempts a robbery. The officer will police from their hidden areas of if the perpetrator fails to drop his weapon. The officers open fire. Stakeout are the effective in a cases where the police receive a tip that a crime is going to occur in a commercial establishment. Letter C, decoy operation. The officers dress as and play the role of potential victims, ex-drunk, nurses, tourists, and etc., waiting to be a subject of a crime. Meanwhile, a team backup officers stand by to apprehend the perpetrator in the act of committing the crime. Letter D, interdiction. Interdiction involves the interceptions and seizure of drugs smuggled. Chapter 9, crime scene search. Golden rule at the crime scene. Never touch or move any object in the crime scene unless properly photographed, measured, and indicated in the sketch. Crime scene rules. Do not use the crime scene as temporary headquarters. Number 2, do not unnecessarily touch anything. This prevent the destruction of evidence and avoid the embarrassment of having your fingerprint on the evidence. Number 3, get names of the person present at scenes, including police officer, coroner, and so on, and forward the list to the police identification unit for elimination fingerprint comparison. Number 4, Keep all unnecessary person out of the crime scene. Number 5, do not wrap any evidence that might contain fingerprint and any type of cloth. Use proper envelopes or paper bags. Number 6, if outdoors, wrap area and protect evidence from the elements if possible without moving it. Number 7, try to determine points of entry and exit. Number 8, examine for presence of latent prints. Number 9, locate any object that might have been handled by the suspect and process them. Number 10, maintain a copy of case history for your files. Assignment of duties. Officer in charge TL, one who direct the search, assigns duties and assumes responsibility for the effectiveness of the search. Number 2, assistant. He must implement the order of the OIC. Number 3, photographer. He photographed the scene and individual pieces of evidence. Number 4, sketcher. He makes a rough sketch of scenes given a later a finished sketch. Number 5, master note taker. One who writes down in a shorthand and observation and description during the search. Number 6, evidence man. He collect preserves and tags article of evidence. Number 7, measure. He makes overall measurement of the scenes. A stage of crime scene search. Number 1, approach scenes. Number 2, secure and protect. Number 3, preliminary survey. Number 4, narrative description. Number 5, photograph the scenes. Number 6, sketch the scenes. Number 7, evaluation of latent fingerprint evidence or physical evidence. Number 8, detailed search. Number 9, collection, recording, making and preservation of evidence. Number 10, final survey to ensure condition condition of the crime scenes have been documented as truly as possible. Number 11, release of scenes. Standard methods of recording investigative data. A. Photograph. B. Sketching crime scenes. Letter C. Writing notes. What you have seen or observed. Letter D. Developing and lifting fingerprints found at the crime scene. E. Gathering physical evidence. G. Tape recording or sounds. H. Videotape recording or of video of object. And I. Written statement of subjects and witness. The crime scene search. Processing the securing a crime scene. Processing a crime includes the application of diligent and careful method by an investigator, policeman to recognize, identify, preserve and collect fact and items of evidentiary value that may assist in reconstructing that which actually occurred. Number 2, protecting the crime scene and the evidence. Successful crime scenes processing depends upon the policeman or investigator's skill in recognizing and collecting facts and item of value as evidence and upon his ability to protect, preserve and later to present this in a logical manner. 3. Laboratory examination of objective and substances located usually at crime scene. Object and substances needing examination in some cases are carried intentionally or unintentionally unis- unintentionally by suspect from the crime scene. Investigator notebook. Purpose. Considering the mass of details and the number of cases which in some instances an investigator is handling, it is very possible that he might forget some details. Recording note: the data of investigation should be recorded in a complete, accurate, and legible 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 fashion so that in the event another investigator is required to assume responsibility for the investigation, he can make intelligent use of the notebook. What what is police line? Police line is authority line used to perceive the crime scene that separate the crowd from the person. Persons have the authority to handle crime. CIC. Important of search and crime scene. Reconstruction of the crime, certification and linkage of the subject to the crime scene, establishment of possible cause of arrest establishment. Point to remember in crime scene search. 1. Secure the area. If possible, cordon the area. Number 2. Avoid contaminating the physical evidences. 3. As much as possible, limit the number of persons that get in the crime scene. How to send evidence to the laboratory. Wrap the items separately. Number 2, label packages and pack securely in one box. Seal and wrap the box again. Place original and copy of laboratory request in address envelope. Tape or sealed envelopes securely to box or place it on the top of the box. Number 6, send registered package by mail, air mail, or express, or if possible, hand carry. Note: if package contain firearms, put an indication. That's all. Thank you.